Yo, yo, yo. Gotta start this one off with the happiest heavenly birthday to my brother. You are loved for the boy you were, the man you became, and the precious son you will always be. So, happy birthday, Sway. Would have been 28. I better be right. Yeah, he was a year older than me, so it would have been 28. But would have been breaking down the UFC Miami, UFC 314 with me, and we going through it. Oh, well, damn near all. I think like 11 of the 13 fights I really want to get into. Um, but yeah, y'all. Happy birthday, Sway. I miss you. I love you so much. I wish you were still here to do these podcasts with me. But it is what it is. We gonna keep it going in honor of your name, and I know what you want this to become, so we gonna make it happen. And let's start the fucking screen share. Y'all know how I like to do it. Um, that's fine. Come on, let me do it. Share. They just want me to sign in. Man, y'all, it's a real tough one, man. Real tough fucking main event, man. Let's just go up to it. Let's see what they talking about. I honestly think Diego Lopez has hands of steel. Let's go through it real quick. This is for the interim featherweight title. Ilya Taporia has decided to move up to 155. He will either have a number one contender match or he will face Islam. But there's also talks of Islam Makhachev moving up. So I mean, I'm not somebody who's ever gonna bet against Volkanovski. I'm just gonna throw that out there first. The odds moved crazy from minus 150 for Volk to let me see, to minus. It was like minus 120 when I checked earlier. Y'all, this shit fucking blew my mind. But yeah, they moved, man. Volk is now minus 125 to Diego Lopez plus 105 on draft. And so far on DraftKings, 63% of the bets have been placed on Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez, I just rewatched the Mobstar Evloev fight. That was his debut in the UFC. Put up a great fight. Arguably won the fight if it was a bad robbery. It wouldn't be the worst robbery in the world. But I do think he lost 29-28. He locked up some crazy submissions, but then, um, Mobstar was able to get out of him. Let's just talk about Alexander Volkanovski's losses. He's 13-3 when it comes to TKO, so he's been knocked out 3 times. He's never been submitted. 3-0 when it comes to submission, and 10-1 when it comes to decision. 13-3 in the UFC, and he was 12-0 up until July 2022. This is not a time that favors father time. That favors older fighters, especially in the younger weight classes. But we've got wins over the Korean Zombie, Max Holloway 3 times, Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo, Chad Mendez. Just straight legends of the fucking sport. Is he the featherweight GOAT? Maybe. Maybe. But he's currently on a 2-loss knockout streak. He's 5'6", 71.5 inches of reach. He is my favorite fighter. But this guy right here, the man who coaches Alexa Grasso, 5'11", 5-inch height advantage. How does Volkanovski close that distance? when Volkanovski takes him down, how threatening will those submissions be, right? That's that's also what we got to look at. He's currently on a 5-win streak. He's only 30 years old, 6-year youth advantage. He's fighting out of Mexico, represents both Mexico and Brazil, and he's 10-2 when it comes to KOs, 12-0 when it comes to submissions. Dude is a finisher. 22 of his 26 wins have come by a finish. So he fucked up Pat Sabatini, easy as hell, who just fraud checked Joe Anderson Brito like a motherfucker. Sadiq Youssef, a great fighter in the division. Not a great, but a really good fighter in the division. Beats Dan Ige on 3 hours fucking notice, International Fight Week. And then he fucks up Brian Ortega with a 30-26. There are questions to be answered with this fight. Go with your gut. If you think Alexander Volkanovski is just too short to close the distance and land any meaningful shots, and if you think, I mean, he's never been submitted. His submission defense is great. We saw it against Ortega. He survived that crazy guillotine. But I just don't know if it's time for this new young blood Diego Lopez to take over the division. And I don't. If he wins, I don't see him becoming a champ. I see them doing this fight number 2 because of how close it was. Mobster is a boring fighter, but he does have good game plans, and he survived crazy submissions that not many people would have survived and would have tapped to. Lopez's hands of steel. Volkanovski doesn't really have hands of steel. He's got some wins by knockout here and there. Guys, I'm gonna say alternate method of victory. I hate to throw it out there, but Diego Lopez wins KO, or Volkanovski just has 15 minutes of ground control time, survives the submissions, doesn't even get threatened by the submissions because his jiu-jitsu defense is really good. And that's what we're looking at here with the main event, guys. That's what we're looking at with the main event. And it's simple as that. I will go with Alexander Volkanovski. I am never gonna bet against Alexander Volkanovski, but if you want to bet out there, I do think that Volk to win by decision, Lopez to win by KO -135. Throwing it out there. Just vote just to win by KO plus 300 for Diego Lopez. So the odds makers don't think it's that far off. But personally, I'm on Volk. Never gonna be against Volk, though I should say I do love Diego Lopez. I think he's a great fighter. Do I think he could pull it off? Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. But I hope Volk uses some of that fucking veteran savvy to, win this one and cement himself as the featherweight fucking GOAT. Not the featherweight GOAT, but up there, with them. Next fight, Michael fucking Chandler. Let's look at the odds here. What are we looking at? We got Michael Iron Chandler, 38 years old, about to turn 39 in a couple weeks, facing Patty the Batty, 30 years old. Patty the Batty is now -148 to Michael Chandler's +124 on DraftKings. -5.5 rounds. This is a 5-round co-main event. It looks like they might give the winner, if the winner wins in convincing fashion, the next title shot. Michael Chandler, let's go through his resume first. He's 18-5 in Bellator, 2-4 in the UFC. Lost against Charles, almost beat him. Lost against Dustin, almost beat him. Beat Tony Ferguson and beat Dan Hooker. Those are his 2 wins in the UFC. And he beat a pretty washed up Benson Henderson, but it's still a quality win. Patricio Pitbull, we'll get to later. He lost to him in Bellator. It seems like when Michael Chandler faces that next level of competition, he seems to lose. I think Patty the Batty has hands. I think what's his name? Conor McGregor just straight fucking with Michael Chandler is really, kind of fucked him over. Last time he fought was UFC 309. Well, that's which was not that long ago, November of 2024. And we're looking at so like 7 months ago. I forgot that fight happened, but Charles Oliveira took him down at will. And Charles Oliveira is a great grappler, but he is not known as no fucking wrestler. Charles Oliveira was in there shooting double legs. And I know Michael Chandler is big for the division, and Patty isn't really big for the division, but I do think Patty has an insane fucking ground game. He's born in July, or he was his last fight was in July. Um, Currently on an 8 fight winning streak. One of those he probably should have lost against fucking Jared Gordon. But he's beat King Green, he's beat Jordan Levy, he's beat Jared Gordon, he's beat Tony Ferguson. He was champion at Cage Warriors. It's a great organization. He's got 4 bonuses already. I'm going with Patty the Batty here. I love Patty the Batty. Also biased, 6-0 in the UFC. I just think too old, man. Michael Chandler waited too long. He should take, like McGregor fucked with him, like it was nothing. And well, I'm just gonna say Paddy the Baddy gets it done, and I think he gets it done inside the distance. Probably catches him with a rear naked choke. His grappling is off the charts, man. Paddy the Baddy is the pick. Next, we got Gene fucking Silva about to teach Bryce Mitchell that the Holocaust was in fact real, that millions of people died in the Holocaust. Um, Gene Silva's 15-2. He's been knocking motherfuckers out left and right. Took a fight at UFC 303, steps in 2 weeks fucking later, and fucks up Drew Dober so bad the doctor had to come in and stop the fucking fight, stop playing. Melsick Bagdarian was just to get, to push him a little higher up the rankings. And I think coming from that camp, he is a dog. He is dog. I love the fighting nerds. I think everybody loves the fighting nerds, and I think Gene Silva is the second best fighter out of that camp. Bryce Mitchell, pillow hands, weak takedowns, great jujitsu when it comes to the ground. But does he get Gene Silva to the ground? Hell no. Gene Silva would have to make some real mental errors to lose this fight, and that's the only way I see him losing this fight. And honestly, the fighting nerds for a reason. Jiu-jitsu nerds. They have good striking too, of course, but their base is jiu-jitsu. And I just think that Bryce Mitchell, after that fucking knockout, especially against fucking what's his name? Where's Gene Silva at? The fuck did I not put him up? I see what I did. Um, he's 8-2 in the UFC with his 2 losses coming to Josh Emmett and Ilya Pretoria. He beat Dan Ige, impressive win. Beat Chrome Gracie, which he should have done. 7 wins by decision. Only 2 of his fights has ended in a knockout. He's 9-1 when it comes to submission. And Gene Silva, he's 15-2. He's primarily a striker. 12 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission. The only way I see Bryce Mitchell winning this is with just bad IQ from Gene Silva, which could happen. Motherfucker be barking. No, let me stop. But the pick is gonna be honestly Gene Silva minus 265. I love those odds. I think they're a little discounted, to be honest. I ain't even going cap. Are you hungry? Um, Take a Gene Silva minus 265 money line. Patricio Pitbull, 36-7 in his career, has never lost a rematch. We get it, Henry Cejudo. 5'6", 65.5-inch reach compared to Yair Rodriguez, El Pantera, fighting out of fucking Valley Flow Striking Academy, of course, out of Chicago, 71-inch reach. This is a tale of two, fights. Does Patricio, is he able to get that distance covered? 12 wins by knockout, 12 wins by submission, 12 wins by decision, 24-6 in Bellator. I I want to go with Pitbull because Yair just hasn't closed that gap in wrestling. But I do think it's a Pitbull decision or a Yair Rodriguez just pummeling him on the feet, just striking his ass to oblivion. Um, beat Josh Emmett to win the interim title. He beat Brian Ortega, or he lost to Brian Ortega. He beat Brian Ortega, but it was kind of a fluke. Max Holloway was in there taking him down. I think Patricio is gonna be really safe in his octagon debut. I think +3.5 is the smartest move, but I do think Pitbull wins this fight outright, despite the reach disadvantage, despite the height disadvantage. It's hard for me to go against a motherfucker from Chicago at Valley Flow Striking, especially considering I work a couple miles from there. But Pitbull has been a legend of the sport. Yair Rodriguez has not closed that gap with the grappling. He's just gonna settle on the ground and pull guard, and you can't do that against guys like Pitbull who have fought at the highest level, have fought the Michael Chandlers of the world. Um, Even though this is UFC debut, a lot of people consider Pitbull to be the best 145er of all time. And the fact that he's a +164 underdog is really disrespectful. I think this fight is more of a pick 'em. I'm gonna go with Pitbull at +3.5, -150 odds, and I'm gonna go with Pitbull money line +164 odds. Let's ride, baby. Dominic Reyes, 14-4, the man who beat John Jones and they robbed. 8-4 in the UFC, 9-3 when it comes to knockout, 2-1, 2-0 when it comes to submission, 3-1 when it comes to decision on a 2-fight win streak after a 4-fight losing streak. He beat the likes of Chris Weidman in 2019, Volkan Ozdemir, Ovince St. Preux, Jared Cannonier. Now he goes on, beats Dustin Jacoby as a +200 underdog, beats Anthony Smith. I think he's getting a second win, guys. Nikita Krylov has just been out for too long. Reyes is 35 now. He's 6'4", 77-inch reach. I think Nikita's a little younger. He's 32. 6'3" with a 77.5-inch reach. So he's got half an inch of reach. 12-1 by TKO, 16-6 by submission. But he's 11-7 in the UFC, beating Ryan Spann, Volkan Ozdemir, and Alexander Gustafsson. And Paul Craig just seems to take everybody out. The fact that he beat Johnny Walker is impressive. The fact that he beat my boy Jan Blachowicz is impressive too. Didn't know that one. Nikita, just because his fucking nickname is the Miner, I'm probably gonna go against him. I think Dominic Reyes is going for a second win. I think the light heavyweight division is wide open, and I think he himself realizes that if he gets a win here, he's probably one more win away from fighting for the title. So the odds currently +160. Damn, I'm picking a whole lot of dogs here, but +160 for Dominic Reyes, and I think Dominic Reyes gets it done. Krylov a tough out, but if you ain't fighting since March 11th of 2023 and it's May of 2025, get the fuck out of here. I don't know if you're gonna show up the same. Dominic Reyes is the pick. Next fight, Dan Ige. Dan 50K Ige. Always loses when I bet on him, always wins when I bet against him. type of motherfucker. 11 stoppages, never been stopped in his career. 7-9 when it comes to decision, though, and 10-8 when it comes to the UFC. 18 UFC fights is a ton of experience. Is currently on a 2-fight losing streak, but he did step in to fight Diego Lopez on 3 hours' notice. Should have an asterisk on it. But he's losing to the top guys in the division, man. He's losing to Korean Zombie. Can't do that, especially when Korean Zombie was on his way out. Losing to Josh Emmett, losing to Mobstar, losing to Bryce. I think he should beat a guy like Bryce. Losing to Diego Lopez, losing to Laurel Murphy. Dan Ige is a little overrated in my opinion. And what's the reach right here? He's 33, still young, 5'7", 71-inch reach at featherweight. I think this fight is, and he's taking on 32-year-old Sean Woodson, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. Dude is tall as fuck for the weight class. He's 4-0 when it comes to TKO, 1-1 when it comes to submission, 8-0 when it comes to decision. Other buddy, 7-9 when it comes to decision. All I'm gonna say is, man, the level of competition is definitely better for Dan Ige, but and that split decision against Jourdain doesn't look great, but he is beating these guys with his length. I think Dan Ige, really the only shot for him to win this fight is with KO, and the pick is Sean Woodson minus 166. I just think his length is too much for Ige. I think Ige's kind of shown that he's probably that gatekeeper for that division. And Sean Woodson, I don't think he's ever going to be in the top five, but I do think he will win this fight against Ige based simply on the length. The jab is great, the hooks are great, the striking is great, the boxing is great. That's really all I got right there for y'all, man. I think Sean Woodson is just too long. The only way I see him losing is if he gets caught and knocked out, and then 50K Ige certainly has a chance to do that. But the pick is Sean Woodson. The safe pick is Sean Woodson. If you want to go a little crazy and see what those odds are, because they're not up yet for me, see what that Dan 50K Ige it's gonna look like. This fight might end in one of those split decisions too, where they're just too gritty. But Sean Woodson is an outside fighter, likes to maintain distance. Dan 50K Ige is really gonna close that distance, try to do some clinch work to end the fight. Moving on, one of my favorite female fighters, Yan Xiaonan. She's got a fucking tall task ahead of her. 9-3 in the UFC. She's beaten Tabitha Ricci, who she was an underdog against. Crazy. Lost against Wei Li, but I think she outstruck her in some of the rounds, and I think she looked good. And I think she's looked the best outside of Joanna that anybody has looked against Wei Li. Beating Jessica Andrade, beating Mackenzie Dern. Marina Rodriguez, that was a really close fight. Carla Esparza is a former champion, but she's beating Angela Hill, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. You know what I mean? Um, she's taking on Verna, female Rob Schneider, Yandradova, 21-3. I think Verna is just fucking amazing, but she is 36. Jan is, I think, pretty old too. She's 35. So it's a battle of some older ladies, but currently on a 4-fight win streak, 14-0 when it comes to submission, 1-0 when it comes to TKO, 6-3 when it comes to decision. I think whoever has the plus 3.5 in this fight, you go with. Um, I think Berna's a nasty wrestler on top of it grappling. Um, I would err on the side of Berna. Just slight bet, not super confident. Jan does have striking, but whoever got that plus 3.5, nail that shit, because this is going to be a 29-28 split decision, maybe, or it's 29-28 close fight. That is what I believe. I think Yan Xiaonan has really good striking. Let's see if she has any kind of a reach advantage over Verna. You see, no, she's at a 1 inch reach disadvantage, but she is a little. Is she a little taller at least? Yeah, 2 inches taller. Uh, Verna Jan's got great striking, but Verna, if she has that game plan, and I'm not gonna lie, Bailey had some struggling moments against Jan. Jan can definitely win this fight as a underdog, guys. UFC 314. I got one more fight to break down, y'all. And I think I'm out this bitch. I'm gonna do the picks with y'all before we go. Chase Hooper. I think Chase Hooper submits Jim Miller. I think it doesn't go the distance. I think my Chase Hooper might even take it easy on Jim Miller. Uh, he's 8-3 combined with the Contender Series. He lost the split decision against an ADXC, which is a jiu-jitsu competition against and he fucking beat the shit out of this guy. This was his last fight where he looked really bad and he just got his fucking ass handed to him. But since then he's made the proper adjustments. He's been fucking submitting everyone. I mean, just 8-0 in submissions. He's got great jiu-jitsu. Jim Miller is a classy veteran, but that's how I see that one playing out. I got Julian Erosa here. I hate betting against Polacks. Nah, we're gonna go with the Polak Michał Aleksejczyk here. Sumaraji all day here. Not familiar with Tulio. Trayshawn Gore, I'm a fan of. Let's go with that big plus 280 underdog. Nora Corinoli is who I'm going with here, but that's a no bet. These are all really no bets for me. Let me tap in and make my picks with y'all real quick. I'm a purple belt, y'all. Look at this. 412 in 257, 61.58% correct. So I'm picking 6 out of 10 fights correct, and 9 and 12 and 10 out of 12 in my last two. So if you ain't tailing, you fucking failing, bitches. Um, let's make picks. What is Barty gonna choose here? Going with Volk decision. Get Patty. I'm gonna get Patty to knock him with a a flash knockdown, and then get a submission in round three, round two. Gene Silva by murder in round two. I shouldn't say it like that. I think Patricio Pitbull wins a decision here. I think Dominic Reyes wins a knockout round two. I think Sean Woodson wins this decision here, but I think plus 3.5 is a good bet on 50K Ige. Man, where do I go? Where do I go? I'm gonna go with Verna to win by decision, and I'm gonna go with her to win by split decision. Specifically, I think Chase Hooper submits. Don't overthink it. Submission round one. Jim Miller is all game, but Julian Rosa also has some sneaky submissions. I'm gonna go with him to find a submission in round two. I'm gonna go with Michał Aleksejczyk, who just recently dropped Kevin Holland to drop this guy in the first round. I'm gonna go with Subaraji to win a decision. We're gonna go with Trayshawn Gore. Don't know how. Then here we're gonna go with Nora Cornoli, the little Frenchie, versus Haley Cowan. But these first four fights, these are the ones I'm really confident in. Um, man, y'all, happy birthday to my brother Sway. Um, happy heavenly birthday to my brother Sway. I miss you so much. Not like a day goes by. Um, about to smoke one for you, you know how you do. But I love you, bro. I miss you. and happy birthday. Keep watching down. Peace, y'all. If you ain't tailing, you fucking failing.